It's time for a little comedy, a little content, and a lot of conversation. It's the Geno Jones Show, exclusively right here on YouTube. Now here's your host, Geno Jones.
Hey, Showtime. What's happening, everybody? The Geno Jones Show. Bam! You can read, you can see the sign. I know. I can hear you saying that. I can hear you talking. So I come to you live normally Monday through Friday, 6:30 p.m. Eastern, unless otherwise stated. Tomorrow, special start time, 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. in Chicago, 4 p.m. out in Los Angeles. That is just on tomorrow, Wednesday only. Normal start time, like I said, 6:30 p.m. Eastern. Please subscribe to the Geno Jones Show YouTube channel. You and everybody you know and don't know. Everybody you like, folks you really ain't that crazy about. Folks you can't stand. Strangers, aliens from outer space. I don't give a damn. Tell them all. This is must-see TV, the Geno Jones Show. Man, my palm is itching. So my grandmother used to tell me, Jeannie, when your palm is itching, I mean you got some money. You got to rub it on your hip. I don't know if it was the right hip. I guess it's the right hand. I think the right hand means you got some money coming. And you rub it on your hip bone, kind of like the top of your butt there. So, because no one won the Powerball jackpot, it is now up to $1,730,000,000 as of like right now, about 6:32. Tomorrow is the drawing. So listen, I hate to break this news to you. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but I don't want you to throw away your money. I want you to save and invest wisely. So don't bother buying a lottery ticket because I have already named and claimed the winning lottery ticket. Now I'm going to be very generous with the money. I'm going to do it anonymously. I'm going to bless a lot of people. A lot of people. That's the greatest joy because I'm relatively good. I'm really going to bless my family, my extended family, and even people who I may not even know. So, you know, who knows? She may wind up having an envelope with a whole bunch of money or a note or a notary show up to your house and say, there's an account in your name. And the person wanted to remain anonymous. Don't call me because I'm going to deny that I did it anyway. That's just how I get down. So anyway, tomorrow night, the Powerball jackpot won $1,730,000,000. That's now. It's probably going to be more. It could be like 1,750,000. I think it depends on how many folks buy lottery tickets. I have bought more lottery tickets like since like the summer than I have in 50 plus years. Hey, why not me? You know, you can't win if you don't play. And I don't gamble. I don't do Vegas. I'm not a gambler because I don't like losing money. But hey, listen, you can't win. And my attitude is, why not me? I've been a good person. God, you know your child. You created me. You know who you made me. You know who I am. So, all right, I digress. I want to congratulate New Edition. They were inducted into the R&B Walk of Fame. There's an R&B Hall of Fame. And they had a big ceremony over the weekend in Detroit City, along with Aaliyah, who was inducted posthumously. That means after death. That's what posthumously. A person awarded something after they died. A tragic plane crash in 2001 where Aaliyah was killed. Also, Dionne Warwick was inducted, the Iceman, repping the south side of Chicago, Mr. Jerry Butler, and Hall & Oates, among others. I think Dee Dee Sharp, sister she was kind of big. I think it is like mid-late 60s, early 70s, also inducted. So congratulations to New Edition and Aaliyah and everybody else, Dionne Warwick and Jerry Butler, the Iceman, Hall & Oates, and everybody else. So, are you a fan? Were you a fan of the movie? The original movie, The Color Purple, that came out in like the mid-'80s. I think it came out around 85. And you had Oprah Winfrey. She was in the movie. Everybody loved Oprah's character. She was just off the chain. Celie. So you had Oprah Winfrey. You had Whoopi Goldberg. That I think I'm trying to get my notes here together. But anyway, you saw the movie. I can't think of all the characters. I remember Harpo, Mr., and all of them. So if you love the movie and you saw the Broadway play with Fantasia, I heard Fantasia, she tore it up. Well, guess what? The Color Purple, the movie musical. So basically they took the Broadway play and turned it into a movie musical. It's coming out on Christmas Day, starring Taraji P. Henson. Fantasia is going to play Celie. Her, the sister, talented R&B singer, young sister named Her real name is like Gabby Wilson, but she goes by H.E.R. Her. She's going to be in it. Sierra. So I guess Russell Wilson he'll be at the premiere. Sierra's going to be in it. Danielle Brooks is going to play Sophia. And Corey Hawkins. So Corey Hawkins is the dude, if you saw Straight Outta Compton, Corey Hawkins is the brother that played Dr. Dre. He's been in some other movies too. So Corey Hawkins is going to play, that dude, that Danny Glover character. He's going to play, he's going to play Harpo. He's not going to play Mr. He is going to play Harpo. I'll kill him dead. So I guess Harpo's going to get his ass beat again like he did in the original movie. So I'm excited to see that. It's coming out Christmas Day. I just wanted to give you a heads up. Happy birthday today, October 10th. Maya, R&B singer, she came out in the late 90s and the early 2000s. She was like dominating radio. She had this song Ghetto Superstar with Praz from the Fugees before he got locked up. I'm just saying. Look, I'm just the messenger. I ain't the one that made him commit a crime and get his ass locked up. Anyway, remember the song, Ghetto Superstar. So that was Maya. Case of the X. Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun. That was a jam. It's All About Me. And she's an actress too. Maya, she turned 44 today. A one-hit wonder. But it was a big hit. It was called Addictive. So Addictive. Kind of had like this almost Moroccan, kind of Middle Eastern kind of vibe. Beats by Dr. Dre, since we were just talking about Dr. Dre. And you had Rakim, the legendary, one of the greatest rappers, underrated. People talking about the greatest rappers of all time. Don't even have the conversation if Rakim's name is not in that conversation. Rakim from Eric B. and Rakim. So Truth Hurts. That's her stage name. He did the R&B song, that one hit Addictive, that one hit wonder. Truth Hurts is 52, and Chicken George. So I know some of you all saw Roots. Some of you all might have seen the reruns and saw it. Some of you folks actually saw it when it first came on TV, way back in 1977. Of course, my man young LeVar Burton, Mr. Reading Rainbow, he played Kunta Kinte. And Kunta Kinte's grandson was named Chicken George. Ben Vereen turned 77 today. Happy birthday, Maya, Truth Hurts, and Ben Vereen. Before I bring my guest on, you still have a horrible situation over in Israel, Syria. You have the Hamas terrorists, and now we're seeing more video of just these terrorists, this Hamas terrorist group just went into homes of Israelis in southern Israel and just slaughtered these people. It's horrible. The prime minister of Israel, who I call the Israeli version of Orange Jumpsuit Hitler, Benjamin Bibi Netanyahu, who virtually had his military almost virtually quit on him because he basically wanted to take over the Supreme Court and become a dictator and turn Israel into an autocracy. An autocracy is just a dictatorship. Just one person, I'm the king, I'm the ruler, damn it. Y'all gonna do what I say or I'm gonna kill you. So Bibi Netanyahu, or Benjamin Netanyahu, was on that wannabe dictator like his boy, he's very good friends with, Orange Jumpsuit Hitler. For those who watch the show on a regular basis, you know what I'm talking about. The 45 dude, yeah, him. That one. The 91 indictments, 91 cases. He got 91 charges. I don't even know. I know some brothers that did some dirt, or back in the day on the south side, we call it some do-low. But I don't know no brothers that do so low that they got 91 charges. Damn. 91. Boy, you got 90. How many charges you got? 91. Man. So, but it's just a horrible situation. And go back and binge watch last night's show. I had a special commentary because it's such a complicated situation. What's not complicated is just the inhumane, the level of depravity and evil and demonic, just to slaughter innocent people. It's just no excuse for it. But it's a very complicated region, and they have been fighting in this region not just for 75 years, because the state of Israel was created by the United Nations and unofficially became the state of Israel in the eyes of the world and the United Nations in 1948. So they basically, the United Nations voted. The United States was a big part of that. Great Britain, who owned the land that Israel is on now, because that land was called, had different names. Now, for the biblical scholars, it was called Israel probably, 2,000 years ago. But it was not called that. Recently, it went through a lot of different names. But anyway, I'm not going to, look, I'm not a Bible scholar. Now, my guest, who's coming up in about a minute, he is, but we're not going to have that conversation today. But it's just a very complicated region. Complications or not, there's never any excuse for anyone who is supposedly acting on behalf of any group of people to get freedom for those people. In war, combatants, soldiers battle. Soldiers do not attack innocents, civilians. Those are war crimes, and it's inhumane. So I just kind of wanted to, President Biden gave a speech. You can find it I'm sure you can find it right here on YouTube. But it's just, I'm just praying for peace, because I'm really afraid. I'm just really afraid that this is going to get a whole lot worse and a whole lot more dangerous and a whole lot more innocent people. That's the bad part. You got people who want to be dictators and full of hate and evil, who are in leadership positions. They get other people to go out and commit atrocities, and you have innocent people who are just trying to live their lives being murdered. I digress. My guest today, he is a social justice warrior. He's a pastor. We have a situation here in the Charleston, South Carolina metro with the school district. And we have a school board here. Now, it's a situation that's happening all around the country. You got school boards that are being taken over by, there's one specific group called Moms for Liberty, which is just a front for, basically, I'm just going to call it like it is. This is me. It's my show. I'm saying it. So you can at me. You can jump in it. You can jump in my chat room. Feel free. If you got something to say, you can come for me. But if you come for me and I don't send for you, I'm going to send your ass back to where you came from. I'm going to do it with a smile. Moms for Liberty is really, it's finance. It is a front group. It is PAGA, this whole part of this MAGA cult, far right wing, white nationalists. There's been documentation and it's been proven that you've had the Moms of Liberty, women in that group have been affiliated and connected with, seen with pictures with some of these white nationalists. I call them domestic terrorists. Some of the people that stormed the Capitol. Some of these militia right-wing, white Christian nationalist militias. That's just a fact. You can at me, but you can find it out. Because Steve Bannon, who was part of the orange jumpsuit Hitler's administration, y'all know who I'm talking about, said publicly that we, being these who want to oppress black folks and Hispanic folks and gays, lesbian, and just anybody that's not a white Christian nationalist, that they had to take over, especially after Barack Obama was elected president. They said, we got to take over school boards. Steve Bannon has said this on camera multiple times. We have to take over all the forms of government and basically just tear the government down from the inside to create the climate and environment for a dictatorship. So you have a lot of local school boards that are being taken over by groups like the Moms for Liberty, or some of these, you got these far right-wing militia members who have become members of school boards. So we have a situation here in Charleston County where there was an African-American who was given a position, earned a position, school superintendent, and just some really shady, nefarious things happened. As soon as the brother got into position, all of a sudden, folks got a problem with him, and folks are trying to ban books. And those folks here in Charleston County, and not just in Charleston County, but some surrounding counties, look, just see Florida, Texas. So my guest, social justice activist, he's been in the fight for social justice and for all people, anybody that's a victim of injustice. This brother has been a social justice warrior, pastor, and a good friend of mine, Chicago native, fellow South Side of Chicago. Without any further delay, I'm going to shut up and bring this handsome young man you see on the camera, Brother Pastor Thomas Dixon. I want to thank you, brother, for coming on the show. So you'll probably do it in a little more sophisticated, less acerbic. My motto is tell the truth, shame the devil. But I know we've had conversations, and people like A.J. Davis, they have been warning about this group, Moms for Liberty. They try to pose as like, oh, they just want what's best, for kids, and parents should have a say in what their kids read. But it's so funny, they want to ban books because they don't want their children to know the truth, the full truth about America. But why should they have a right to make a decision about what my child or your child or grandchild or what other children whose parents don't subscribe to this very narrow-minded, racist, white Christian nationalist version of what should and should not be taught in schools? So I'm going to let you speak to what's happening here in Charleston County and give us the latest update with the good doctor who is, I believe, I had the honor of meeting Dr. Is it Gallant?
It's Gallion.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Dr. Gallion, I had the honor to meet him over the weekend, and I know he's filed a lawsuit. So just why don't you give us a quick kind of backstory, because people like you and A.J. Davis, you all have been sounding the clarion call. I've had A.J. on this show multiple times because he told me about Moms for Liberty almost 3 years ago. My show celebrated its 30th anniversary a week ago yesterday. And AJ has been for at least 2+ years on this show talking about and trying to warn the community, listen, you guys got to get out. We need some of you guys to run, to be on the school board. You need to be at these meetings. And I know you are always front and center, Pastor Dixon. So I'm just going to let you kind of pick up and give everybody a quick backstory about what's happening. And it's not just happening here. It's been happening in Florida and Texas and states, especially in the South and all across America.
Yeah. Geno, thank you for having me on. I really appreciate it. Chi-Town in the house. And I have to laugh because I was one of those that did watch the original Root series on TV. I was one of them. Okay. Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, this group, this Moms for Liberty, which is really, just it's a false impression of what they really are. They're really white folks against liberty. That's where they are. I get really, like troubled in my spirit anytime I hear, these organizations, and they got liberty in there, freedom in there.
Yeah.
Usually something ain't right. And if something ain't right, usually affects us as Black, brown, and poor people more than anybody else. You know, like they say, when white nation gets a cold, Black, brown, and poor people get the pneumonia. So,
or COVID, now
COVID, exactly. But yeah, this group has been on the rise for quite some time, and it's merely about it's about power. It's about white fear and white paranoia, thinking that they are somehow becoming the minority race in America, and that their power will be wrested from their hands by people who don't look like them. And so they use the old racist tactics. They have to create the scary Black man. They have to create the angry Black woman. They have to paint Black leaders as incompetent. And what they do is they use those tactics in order to create paranoia or increase the paranoia and fear within their own base, within their own community. Fortunately enough, though, in the 21st century that we're in, that there are quite a few white folk in America now, especially the younger ones, who aren't falling for that foolishness.
Yes.
So this is really, it's a fringe group. Of course, just as you said, this is white supremacy. It's far right wing, radical white nationalism, religious nationalism.
Your Oath Keepers, 3%ers, Proud Boys.
Yeah, all of
that
them.
whole the Boogaloo Boys, that whole crew.
All of it.
Calling for civil war. But
exactly.
Wait a minute, let me say this, Pastor Dixon. It's not just these far right-wing racist white militia groups. It's anchors on television hosts on Fox News.
Absolutely.
What Greg Gutfield, I'm name checking his ass, calling for civil war.
Exactly.
In America.
Exactly. And that's what's fueling all of this. That's what's helping to fuel. And it started with that previous president that was in office, because he made it popular and acceptable to be racist, and not only just be racist, to be violently racist.
Right. And open with it. Just
open with it. Yeah. And so these folks, they're bent on doing exactly what they want to do, as far as taking over school systems, municipal governments. See, they realize what we as a people, and I know that your audience is diverse, but when I say we as a people, I mean Black, brown, and poor people who have not valued our vote system, and rightfully so, because we voted and not actually received a return on our investment. But now they are moving their people into place by using the system that we stopped using.
Yes.
And when they move their people in place, once again, as it has in the past, we're gonna suffer. We're gonna suffer.
And let me just add something just to piggyback. I'm sorry for interrupting, but this is such an important point for our community. And like you said, when we say "our," we're talking about those who are those who are anti-racist, those who are not anti-Black, anti-Hispanic, anything, unless you're a white male Christian nationalist, which includes a significant number of white Americans here, just in this country.
Absolutely.
They understand that they show up for every election. They don't just show up for the presidential election. They show up for dog catcher, garbage collector, you name it, any little small local. You have a lot of judge positions that are elected. Now, as a matter of fact, I don't have the data in front of me, but a significant number of position judges, especially like state courts and county courts, local courts, a lot of those judges, they are elected. They're on the ballot, but people don't pay attention to that. And when we talk about voting, when you don't vote in midterm elections, then you allow people to take control of the U.S. Senate and the U.S. House that control who sits on the biggest court, the U.S. Supreme Court.
Exactly. We turn over the little bit of authority that we do have just by acclamation, by us, not by default. We say, okay, well, I'm not going to vote, but I want to talk about how I'm being affected by government. Well, you didn't vote, though. And the thing is, though, if we do vote, we actually can control whatever elections that we want. Whatever elections, if we would just go vote, if we would first off be knowledgeable enough to discern what candidates are right, because again, Moms for Liberty, they're interjecting, they're using the black face as has been done over time. There are black candidates that are running for office that are part of this Moms for Liberty, and they can say whatever they want. They're going to give you the nice speeches. These people are professional liars. They are good at it. And I can name names too, and really, and just to speak on one election, we have this election going on here in North Charleston. Well, let me just go back to the school board. We have 5 Moms for Liberty seated board members on the Charleston County School Board. 4 of them are white, and there's one black one. And the one black one is, Lord help me, help me. And she's the most vocal, because that's what they do. They find that one that's going to speak out. It's like with Tim Scott, and excuse me if I'm stepping on some toes, but
tell the truth, shame the devil.
I'm pastor too.
Judge Clarence Thomas. I mean, we could come on and just tell the truth.
Yeah.
Look, my grandmother said the truth needs no defense. You may not you might not like the truth. You might not be able to handle the truth, but the truth needs no defense.
Exactly. It's been an old tactic.
Black people basically in positions of power that vote against the interest of the collective of black, brown, like you said, and poor working class people of all races, white, Hispanic, Asian American, Native American, otherwise.
There's something more sinister involved in it too, because they feel that black people are so stupid that all we have to do is see a black face and we're going to go along with the program. Look at Herschel Walker. And look how many black folk voted for Herschel Walker.
That part. Yes, that part right there.
Yeah. And that's demonic, to even think that, to have that low of an opinion about an entire race of people, to say, as long as we got somebody to look at you, you're going to go along, look like you, you're going to go along. That's why they pop Tim Scott up front. That's why when Trump has a rally, who you see standing right behind him? The one black dude with the cowboy hat on. Yeah.
That's Ben Carson in there, ruined Ben Carson's reputation, a brilliant neurosurgeon, and the culture was proud of Ben Carson, and all of a sudden it's like, Ben,
wait a minute, they put him in charge of HUD though. Why they put the black man in charge of the projects?
They go to show you, like you said, what they think of is they like, well, you're only now here. This man is, from an academic standpoint, more intelligent
Brilliant.
than anybody that was in that administration.
Brilliant.
I'm not even close, but they still demeaned him and still didn't see his accomplishments. They still saw him as inferior because of his own color and the fact that a man that intelligent. But my grandfather said, it's nothing worse than an educated fool.
Yes, this is very true.
Education without common sense is a big problem.
Educated fools from uneducated schools. Pimping people is the rule.
Absolutely. Yeah.
But when it comes to this white nationalist movement right now, a lot of it right now is originating inside of churches. That's the ultimate backdrop for them in order to hide the racist and the racist agenda that they're pushing forward. Because who's questioning the churches, especially when we have this certain thing about nonprofits, 501c3s not being able to actually be politically active or whatever. So they're hiding within that so that people don't really know that this is where their organizing is coming from. We have at least one church, probably several churches right here. I know one definitely right here in North Charleston that's producing these political candidates, these Moms for Liberty candidates out of this church. Right now, we have probably about 5 or 6 different people running for office that actually attend this church, and a couple of them that are already elected.
Wow. So give us, in the few minutes, I got about three minutes left. I know I'll let you run. You got other meetings. So give us the Cliff Notes version of the status with Dr.
Gallion.
Gallion.
Yeah.
And what the community can do and needs to do? What's the plan of action? What is the strategy that we need to do to support this brother and to make sure that our voices are heard, and what we need to do in terms of whenever this next school board election is, we need to go ahead and get these Moms of Liberty candidates out and find some candidates to run and put them in a position, put them on the school board.
Absolutely. So right now they're organizing efforts behind the counter, behind the scenes, organizing efforts similar to what was done 50 years ago. We are literally organizing people with training as far as protesting and things of that sort. We have meetings that are being scheduled at various churches. I think the next one's at Mother Emanuel. We just had the first one was at Charity Missionary Baptist Church. We're going out to Ravenel for the next one after that. And we're these are mass meetings. We're trying to get people back under the tent again to understand the severity of the situation. We have got to address this situation, and no one or two of us can do it at all. We need these numbers. And proof of that is that Dr. Gallion was placed on administrative leave pending with pay, pending an investigation of something that they wouldn't even say what the investigation was about. These Moms for Liberty folks, they did it because they control the board numbers 5-4. So he's been on this administrative leave. So we've been organizing and moving people into these meetings and everything, not just our independent, but also in the board meetings. Well, the Charleston County Legislative Delegation got wind of what was happening. Actually, we were contacted about it. They held a hearing yesterday, a little meeting yesterday, a town hall type meeting. And the people came in, probably a couple of hundred people at North Charleston City Hall. And in that crowd, there might have been about 5 or 6 Moms for Liberty. Queen Mom for Liberty was there, but they didn't have any voice or whatever. And they was quite angry, I guess, because they didn't have any voice. But that's them. They're this minority, and they want to hide in secret. But we had our conversation. We aired our grievances with them. They, in turn, contacted the Attorney General, Alan Wilson, who I don't have any kind of confidence in myself when it comes to representing black or racial issues, none whatsoever. He actually sided along with 9 other attorney generals in the nation with an amicus brief supporting Moms for Liberty. Yeah. But they went to him, and because of the power of the word of the people, number of people, and the legislative delegation, when Representative Marvin Pendarvis sent the letter to him, he responded, and it was about a violation of a FOIA request that allowed them to actually jump over procedure and take Dr. Gallion out and put him on this administrative leave.
And for our viewers who don't understand, FOIA means the Freedom of Information Act. It's something in every city that the media and the public has a right, because this is a school board. This is not private school. This is public school. That means we pay taxes. We're taxpayers. So we really are the bosses of folks that sit on the board, because they are, quote unquote, representing us, the taxpayers of Charleston County. Is there anything specific that people are watching and can do? Would you give them specific marching orders, figuratively and literally, and these school board meetings? When are they, and are they open to the public?
Yeah, school board meetings are every other Monday. The times have been varying lately. They're usually supposed to start at 5:15 in the evening, and sometimes they go kind of long because they've been playing these games. But we need as many people as can come out as possible to these school board meetings. For those who can, to continue to pass the word along, especially through social media, that we have these meetings or whatever. I'll have them come to my Facebook page. You can search Pastor Dixon or Thomas Dixon or whatever. Come to my page. I'm always going to have information about what's going on and how you can get involved. The movement is Our Children, Our Schools, Movement 400, based on the 400 days in Birmingham, where it took with Rosa Parks for them to actually move that needle. We're in this for the long haul. We're in this for the long haul. If it's going to take us 400 days in order to move this needle, it's going to take that. And we're in it for the long haul. But what we saw with the legislative delegation just yesterday and their actions in response to our actions and the amount of volume, the Attorney General responded. And he responded with an opinion, because that's all he could do. He couldn't really do anything. He responded with an opinion saying there might have been a breach in the Freedom of Information Act law. that needs to be looked into. So now it's time to get the inspector general on board, who's also on the other side of the fence. But if it's the numbers will continue to move the needle the way we need it to go. We can no longer be idle and sit back and watch people set our children up for failure. Education is the key. Of course, economics is the key also. But without an educational foundation, economics is, I don't care how much they increase the minimum wage or whatever, you never get anywhere without an education. And right now they're planning on robbing us of that education. 4 months ago, we was in there because they tried to take out a curriculum that Black, brown, and poor children are finally thriving in. Our kids are liking going back to school now. The data supports it, and they're doing really great. And what happened with Moms for Liberty and these 5 people? Well, we got to get rid of that. We cannot let them set our children up for failure. We need to take this situation personal, and we need to get up and involve, because Ray and Pookie and them, they ain't got to be destined for the block. They can be destined for the White House, the General Assembly. It's what we do that's going to open up the door for them.
And the bad part is denying. So you're trying to deny Black children of color, to understand the truth, but you're denying all children, including white children.
Yeah.
And you had every white person. If we go back to before, slavery, Jim Crow, you had white people who were abolitionists. So what, are you afraid? You don't want them to know that, hey, not every white person was for slavery, but they don't even want that taught. They don't want. But the bad part, to me, the funny part, and I know I got to let you get out of this, is that you can ban all the books that you want. You're not banning this. These kids, whatever they want to find out, in about a second and a half, they can Google or whatever search engine and find. You can't hide the truth. And the harder, and the more you try to hide it, the more curious they're gonna say, well, man, what is it that they don't want me to know, and why are they going to such great lengths to keep me from learning this?
A quick question though, for these Moms for Liberty, what books were they raised on? The same books they're trying to ban now, other ones. And I guess they feel like they turned out all right. See, there's no logic to any of this. But other than white supremacy, that's the only way that we can actually create a reason behind it, because none of it makes sense. And if we sit by and allow this to happen, then we just
lost his live shot, ran out of time. Try to get him on. Once again, we'll get Pastor Thomas Dixon back on. Thank you, Pastor Dixon. You can find him on social media, Thomas Dixon. Do just a quick search. I know he's on Facebook. He might be on TikTok. I know for a fact he's on Facebook. Got a lot of lives on Facebook. He may be on Instagram. Just do a search. Thomas Dixon, Pastor Thomas Dixon. He will be a regular guest on the show along with AJ Davis. Listen, thank you for letting me be a part of your life. As always, God bless each and every one of you, and you, and you, and especially you and God most of all. Thank you for letting me do the Geno Jones Show live Monday through Friday, 6:30 p.m. Eastern now. Wednesday, tomorrow, if you're watching me live right now, or Wednesday, special start time, 7 o'clock Eastern, 6 o'clock in Chicago, 5 o'clock out in Denver or Boulder, Colorado. Shout to Coach Deion Sanders. And 4 o'clock out in Los Angeles or up in Portland, where my firstborn, Boogie, a.k.a. Lauren Shiana Hill Vaughn, is with my son-in-law, Jonathan, and Brooklyn the Bulldog. All right, everybody. Shout out to Mr. Markel Bailey, the official barber and hairstylist for the Geno Jones Show. He is the CEO of Designer Cuts. Brand new location, brand new, beautiful shop. About to have his grand opening in a couple weeks. Check him out on Instagram. Kel be cutting up. KELBECUTTINUP. Allie Jones is the drip director, the official wardrobe consultant and stylist for the Geno Jones Show. Check her out on Instagram and check out her lx.ncl collection. She did a custom crochet collections. She did a summer collection, a spring summer crochet collection, handbags, swimsuits, crochet tops, leggings. She's doing a fall, and the little beanies, little scullies. So she's going to do now a fall-winter crochet line. It's handbags, tops, pants, leggings. She'll still do the swimsuits, little beanies, little scullies. And she actually did a special custom crocheted yoga mat. So if you are a fan of yoga, if you got a yoga mat and you practice yoga, you want to customize, she did a custom crocheted yoga mat. You can check all that out at lx.n, like Nanette, C like Charlie, L like Lexi, underscore is that little dash at the bottom of that second L, lx.ncl underscore. And shout out to Bruce Gage, also wardrobe consultant and stylist for the Geno Jones Show. He is the CEO, Miglio di Mario Uomo. Check out his signature line, the Mario Uomo collection, and also his Flyball collection. He is one of the few vendors, shop owners that is officially licensed to carry the officially licensed Negro League baseball gear, jackets and ties, and shirts and t-shirts, caps, and a whole lot more. Great collection. Check it out. Miglio di Mario Uomo. That's MIGLIODIMARIO MIGLIODI Mario MARIO. Uomo is Italian. UOMO. We'll see you live Wednesday. Special start time 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Central Time, 4 p.m. out on the West Coast. Go back and binge watch any of this episode that you missed. Once again, I want to thank Pastor Thomas Dixon here in the Low Country, social justice warrior, civil rights activist, pastor. We are having a situation here with the school board, specifically in Charleston County, but all the school boards, where you've got this one group, Moms for Liberty. So when you hear that name, Moms for Liberty, they are for anything but liberty. Really, it should be called Moms Against Liberty for Black folks. Just giving it to you straight. So you got to start. You got to go to your school board meetings. You got to run to sit on the school board and support people that want to make sure that we are not banning books, because that's a very dangerous sign in precedence. Because if you study history, and if you look at what happened in Germany in the early mid-30s, late 30s, a lot of that, we know how that turned out. What happened in Germany in the 30s started off with things like banning books and burning books. Be very careful. History is doomed to repeat itself if we don't learn from the mistakes of history and make sure that we don't repeat the same foolishness and evil. That evil will come right back around. Thanks for watching, everybody. Thanks for watching me live. Thanks for watching. If you are not watching me live, just period. Whenever you're watching, thanks for watching. We'll see you live Wednesday, 7 p.m. Eastern. Be blessed.
Subscribe and tune in to the next episode of The Geno Jones Show, exclusively right here on YouTube.